Hello again, everyone. It's Michael here with your latest supply and demand market report. This video is looking at the indices from around the world. I hope you've all been well and had a good trading week. Please remember, these videos are purely educational and not a recommendation for you to base any of your trading decisions on. So let's get started. Let's look at Japan, the Nikkei 225. So we've had an inside... not an inside week, but a week that it's been predominated with with some selling, whether that's profit taking or new supply rather coming into the market. Time will tell. We still have the demand zone below that we're looking at, which is still situated, will probably always be situated around the previous high. So those levels will remain unchanged for now. If there is some sort of pullback, for those of you who trade smaller time frames, there will be opportunities, but just always please bear in mind the big picture as you are taking the counter trend move. If you are looking to short rallies into supply and then to catch something going down, be mindful of the big picture chart here on the left, so that you know to be a bit more circumspect with your trade, taking that counter trend move. It's a clear runaway trend that's gone fairly parabolic, but overall it's still got the smiley face, and this is actually a new breakout. So buyers are definitely in control of this and are likely to use any pullbacks as an opportunity, or significant pullbacks as an opportunity to buy. What significant pullback? What does that look like? Well, that's testing previous highs that have now support and resistance traders will be looking at as, previous resistance becoming support. Supply and demand traders will be looking at that as where's the area of demand that is of a high quality below. There you have it right there. So yeah, that's the Nikkei. Off we go to Germany, and Germany is still in a box now. We can see that. Let me just show you on the weekly, we've had, as we've talked about ad nauseum, that immediate return to the circle demand. We've fought the battle. We've even attempted to make a new high, and this week got really smacked down, removing demand zones, which shouldn't happen if an uptrend is healthy. Clearly it is not. So now we have this boxed range as the range that we're looking at right there, that one. So just bear that in mind going forward. This market is in a trading range. It needs to decide what direction it's going to take, whether it's going to base it up here for a few more weeks or whether it's just going to continue down from here. We will trade accordingly as new information emerges, but for now it's a watch. Looking at the Russell 2000, it has had a difficult week. That was the supply zone we had that we talked about being in an overall sideways range, which is obviously all of that. So it is pulling back down. Do we have any quality demand? Not really. We do have a demand zone that is within the range, which is that one over there. You are likely to find buyers coming and saying, well, that was the area of the breakout. Let me just make that thicker. That was the area of the breakout, and it's come back to it, and it might be an area of interest for people to buy, but we will see that as prices interact with this price level, not just the singular line obviously, but in and around this area. If you are going to have buyers step in, you'll see that on smaller time frames. So bear that in mind as you're reaching these levels. I would suggest looking at them once prices get there, just to see how prices interact. If you start seeing demand coming in, then look for opportunities to hop on board. But for now, for a long-term trader, this is still an undecided market that we're watching to see what it does. It's neither near the highs nor near the lows. So in the middle, not really our ideal place to trade. And coming to the UK, still in its box. It did have, like the Russell we just saw, a really difficult week with, significant trade to the downside. It's now closer to the bottom of its range, of its box, where if it's going to remain in this range, again, you will expect buyers to step in. There is no evidence of that right now, as you see prices just arriving at that level. So like the Russell, it's also a watch to see what happens to price as it interacts with these lower levels. Okay. And going to the NASDAQ, it had an inside week, not much activity at all. This level so far that we talked about, I think last week, we weren't going to put it in because it hasn't really fulfilled enough of a move for us to be interested in it. It doesn't meet the criteria. That zone may work, it may not, but in terms of filtering, it doesn't meet the criteria that we would set for trading. So it's a watch for us. It's not going to be a zone that I will be trading or suggesting other people trade. There are techniques you could use, but they're way too advanced for these videos. And in fact, even those ones are really sort of FOMOing into a trade, which is not something I ever suggest anyone does. So it's a pass for me on this. I hope it works, but it doesn't meet my criteria. Looking at Australia, had a big week to the downside, massively, tried to break out and got really smacked back down, and you can see that on the daily more clearly. Overall, it's still in its box, still in its shell, hasn't moved. It is overall holding nearer to kind of in the middle of this bigger range, which I don't think I've mentioned in this video yet, or these videos yet, but it is holding in that wider range, but it's yet to really tighten up. There's still a bit too much volatility in this space, and it's undecided what it wants to do. So, I mean, this one is probably not even on a watch. The Russell and the FTSE, the UK 100 they look better in terms of their basing and where they are at those bases than this one does. So that's Australia, and that was the last one for the indices. Okay, so how many minutes was that? 8 minutes. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate your viewership. Please like, subscribe, and share the videos. Thank you for watching. Speak soon.